Hi, my name's Jo Ball, and this is my exhibition Many Leaves Turn at Studio Kind. The work is a new body of work that I've made in the last year, much of it using materials from my allotment, thinking about our relationship to place and especially soil and plants. So many of the materials have come directly from plants that I grow in my allotment in East Bristol or the surrounding area. So we have willow. I use buddleia to dye the yellow fabric that's in the exhibition. I use blackberries to make ink, which I use for the drawing. I think a lot of the reason I started making work at the allotment was because I really like to be outside. So I love being in the studio as well, but I think I definitely I have quite a need to be outside as much as possible. And I have quite a strong desire to use things that are around me things that are around me anyway, so not to buy new materials all the time, to use what I have, kind of resourcefulness, whether that is using materials from the allotment or materials that I find at home, like household paint or food colouring, which I use to dye the nets, or string, even just string itself. And so the forms of the nets, and also there's some hands in the exhibition made out of unfired clay, which are my own hands I've cast, slip cast, and they are kind of cupped in holding forms. So the nets and the hands is a lot about trying to contain or trying to hold, trying to catch things, catch moments. And I think there's something about being outside and growing and being in contact with the soil and growing plants that definitely teaches you patience and kind of hope, I guess. Like when you plant a seed, you're believing in the future. So I find it a very hopeful act. But at the same time, I think the fragility is also linked to the reality that within the kind of joy and wonder of gardening and being outside, there is often an undercurrent of anxiety of things fruiting or flowering at different times than they used to. So for me, the blackberries that I made the ink with, they're quite a marker for me of changing seasons. And that when I was a kid, it was always when we went back to school. It was a September activity, and now in the last couple of years with my own children, it's been something that we do before the summer holidays. So there's that kind of very visible shift of seasons and climate within my own lifetime. So gardening's become a bit of a double-edged sword in a way. It's still very grounding, literally, and important, but it's changing. Yeah, I was just thinking as I was looking around that a lot of the plants that I've used, like the buddleia or the willow, the sticks are made of willow, and the ink I made to make this drawing is blackberries, so brambles. So they're often thought of as undesirables or weeds, yet they're very resilient. The reason they're undesirable is because they're so resilient and tough that they survive. So I do like them because of that. The image that it shows is a aerial shot that I took from Google Maps of Braunton Burrows, which was the first place I visited when I came about a year or so ago to visit Studio Kind in its old space. And I just loved the burrows. I loved the pathways and the feeling of how small you felt in this like huge landscape, and the image of the paths from above really reminded me of my nets and these drawings that I make using my nets. So I did this big kind of jigsaw drawing on many pieces of paper, and what I really liked about it once I stepped back from it is that it feels very biological, and it is, because the pathways are made by humans, but it almost feels like it could be fungal or like a tissue, like a slide of a tissue within the body, or like neural pathways. So that is its title. It's Pathways, Burrows. And I guess kind of thinking about like being lost or getting lost, or navigation, or finding your way through something.